Hello, everybody. I am Kayla Cosmo, and the topic of exploration that I will be discussing with you all today is panic disorder. Now, you may be thinking, what is panic disorder? Panic disorder is diagnosed in people who experience spontaneous, seemingly out of the blue panic attacks and are preoccupied with the fear of a recurring attack. And this is all according to the Anxiety and Depression Association of America. Get that out of the way. The category of disability that this is put under in Muser is an ED, or emotional disability slash disturbance. And in order for a student to be categorized under ED, they must exhibit one of the 5 symptoms. They must show inappropriate behaviors or feelings under normal situations, pervasive moods of unhappiness or depression, inability to build and maintain relationships with peers and teachers, physical symptoms or fears related to school or personal problems, or the inability to learn that cannot be explained. And the reason why the reason why the panic disorder is classified under ED, it looks like it could be either an inappropriate behavior or a feeling under normal situations, because it's a spontaneous panic attack happening, and it can happen anywhere, even at a grocery store or just walking your dog. Or it could also be categorized with physical symptoms or fears related to school or personal problems, because it is an anxiety sort of component. Implications for classroom and education. So, students with panic disorders can become easily overwhelmed in a classroom setting and when involved in group work. And this makes it so they have a harder time focusing on their schoolwork and socialization, because a classroom has a lot of stimuli going on, and it's also a lot of people that you wouldn't willingly associate with most of the time. And so that can create a lot of stress, and it can also heighten up anxiety. Students with panic disorder might also have low attendance because they can either be afraid of something happening at school, either for the first time or something happening again. And if something has already happened in school, like a panic attack, then they can feel shame or embarrassment because of it. And they might also not want to be throwing themselves into a stressful situation, so nothing will happen. It is shown that students with panic disorder and other anxiety related things tend to have lower attendances in school because of it. Recommended teaching strategies. So, one thing that you can do is incorporate movement into lessons and lectures. And this can be something as big as taking your class outside, because or into a different environment. But be careful with that, because new environments can be stressful and can not get the results you want. However, it is recommended that students with anxiety and panic disorders go outside, because nature is a calming thing to most people, and it's not a confined area like a classroom with all the posters on the walls and the people stuck together in one area talking. It's a lot more open. Another thing you can do is try speaking with a calmer and clearer tone. The calmer tone is just so you're not heightening somebody's anxiety. You have like a nice smooth voice. You're not blasting your voice at them, I guess. And so they won't feel as overwhelmed. And the clearer tone makes it so that the student with a panic disorder can understand you. And that way, when you're teaching lessons or having a conversation, they won't be sitting there thinking, oh, did I hear this right? Like, is this what's going on? And they can focus on what is actually happening. And it also makes it so miscommunication is less likely to happen. And another thing you can do is you can promote relationships in your class. And that doesn't just mean between you and your student. It can also mean when you're assigning group work to people, instead of saying, okay, everybody, pick a partner, or okay, guys, I want you to get into groups of 2 or 3. What you can do is just say, hey, guys, everybody count off 1, 2, 3, 4, all the ones get together. Or say, I'm going to put you in groups. Joseph, Mary, Timmy, you're all together. And so that makes it so that you don't have a rejection component in your classroom. And so students won't be wrought with like the fear of like trying to find a partner to be with if they don't have friends in the classroom. And it also makes it so that everybody feels accepted and you have a safer classroom environment. Recommended accommodations. So, what you can do is you can have preferential seating for the student with panic disorder, especially near the door, to allow them to like leave class for a break if they're getting too overwhelmed or things like that. And giving them preferential seating also gives them some sort of like control over the situation. And so even if they don't need to be near an exit, they can sit next to a friend that helps them feel at ease, or just in an area that they feel more comfortable and safer. They could use a tape recorder during lessons or lectures. And so, because, as discussed earlier, panic disorder is defined by having a constant fear of like thinking another attack's going to come upon you. And so, if that's happening to a student, or if they're not paying attention because they're just so stressed out, or any other reason, having a tape recorder gives them the ability to go back later and be like, oh, hey, this is what happened. And so they won't miss anything that's happened in class. And the last accommodation that you can do is you can give them early availability to the syllabus and textbooks. And this gives them this is another sense of control that it gives them, because they can prepare themselves ahead of time. They can look over things, and the textbook makes it so that things won't seem as overwhelming, because they can be like, okay, this is what we're doing. The syllabus makes it, and so if they feel like they're not catching up, or they don't know where they are in class because of a multitude of reasons, they could have not been paying attention because they were panicking, or if they had to leave the classroom, giving a syllabus will show them what you guys were talking about that day, so they can go back later and look at it. Recommended modifications. So you can give students extra time when needed on test, and so that way they're not like sitting there panicking the whole time and wasting their test time on the deadline that they have. And it also makes it so that they have enough time to actually finish the test if they aren't completely focused on it because of anxieties and other things. And you can also allow them to take a test in a separate, like, quiet area. That way they're not surrounded by other students, they don't feel as pressured, and there's not the stimuli of the classroom distracting them the whole time. You could also set up one-on-one meetings with the student and yourself, and this makes it so you guys can have a strategy or a plan as to what needs to happen if a panic attack was to happen in class. You can also talk about what has been working for them in class, like if they really like having notes on the board so that they can keep up instead of just trying to listen to your voice the whole time. Or if they could oh geez, sorry. um or if they could just like, oh god, I don't know, if written things are easier for them. It's just a multitude of things that shows like what's easier for that student. um You can also give the student the option to leave the classroom for a short while when things do get too overwhelming for them. That way, it makes the classroom a more safer and comfortable environment for them, because they know that they're not just stuck in there when they can't handle it. And this isn't just you saying, oh, hey, I don't really care what you do, leave the classroom, whatever. This is you saying, oh, hey, I know that you need like time. Go ahead and do that. I understand. Just come back when you're ready, and so you can like be able to focus on the class and be able to keep up with everybody else and not have your anxiety and panic distracting you. So now we have a case study, and this is the case study of Katie. So obviously this is a YouTube video, you can't click on the link right here. However, I have the link in the description below for you guys to click on, and so if you could all read it as a class, it should be a short little paragraph sort of thing, then that would be awesome. And after you do that, we have case study questions, and so I would like you all to get into small groups. That I don't know how big the classroom is, so sorry I can't tell you how big the groups, but I'd like you all to get into small groups and discuss some of the bulleted questions below, or anything else you might have been thinking when reading the case study. And when you are answering these questions, I want you to think of Katie as your student instead of the adult that she's shown as in the case study. Like, so think of the same situations and things like that, and the same feelings that she's experiencing, but put it into a student in your classroom. And yes, and then when you're done, just please share everything with the class that you discussed. Thank you so much for listening. I am Kayla Cosmo. This is a topic of exploration and panic disorders, and I hope you all have a great day.